ஹரே கிருஷ்ணா. தமிழ் மொழிபெயர்ப்பு எஃப்எம்ல மட்டும் வருது, அதனால அதை நீங்கள் டியூன் பண்ணிக்கோங்க அதுக்கேற்ற மாதிரி. ஹரே கிருஷ்ணா. ஃபேஸ்புக்கில் வராது. ஹரே கிருஷ்ணா.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 10, Chapter 15, Text 27. Translation and commentary by disciples of His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhakti Vikasa Swami Prabhupada. Evam Suhrit Vachaha Shutva Suhrit
Priya Chikirshaya Prahasya Jagmatuhu Gopaihi Pritau Tala Vanam Prabhu Evam Suhrit Vachashrutva Suhrit Priya Chikirshaya Prahasya Jagmatur Gopair Vritau Talavanang Prabhu Evam Suhrit Vachashrutva Suhrit Priya Chikirshaya Prahasya Jagmatur Gopair Vritau Talavanang Prabhu Evam Suhrit Vachashrutva Suhrit Priya Chikirshaya Prahasya Jagmatur Gopair Vritau Talavanang Prabhu Evam Suhrit Vachashrutva Suhrit Priya Chikirshaya Prahasya Jagmatur Gopair Vritau Talavanang Prabhu Evam Suhrit Vachashrutva Suhrit Priya Chikirshaya Prahasya Jagmatur Gopair Vritau Talavanang Prabhu Evam Suhrit Vachashrutva Evam Suhrit Vachashrutva Suhrit Priya Chikirshaya Suhrit Priya Chikirshaya Prahasya Jagmatur Gopair Vritau Talavanang Prabhu. What is this? Evam Suhrit Vachashrutva Suhrit Priya Chikirshaya Prahasya Jagmatur Gopair Vritau Talavanang Prabhu. Evam, thus, Suhrit of their friends, Vachaha, the words, Shrutva, hearing, Suhrit, to their friends, Priya, pleasure, Chikirshaya, desiring to give, Prahasya, laughing, Jagmatuhu, the two of them went, Gopaihi, by the cowherd boys, Vritau, surrounded, Talavanam, to the Tala forest. Prabhu, the two lords. Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vikasa Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: hearing the words of their dear companions, Krishna and Balarama laughed and, desiring to please them, set off for the Talavana surrounded by their cowherd boyfriends. Purport: Lord Krishna was thinking, how can a mere ass be so formidable? And thus he smiled at the petition of his boyfriends. As stated by Lord Kapila in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 28, Text 32, Hasang Harer Avanata Kila Loka Tivra Shokashru Sagara Vishoshanam Atyudharam. The smile and laughter of the Supreme Lord Hari is most magnanimous. Indeed, for those who bow down to the Lord, His smile and laughter dry up the ocean of tears caused by the intense suffering of this world. Thus, to encourage their boyfriends, Lord Krishna and Lord Balarama smiled, laughed, and immediately set out with them for the Tala forest.
Anatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namasreshtam Manamapi Shachiputram Atra Surupam Rupam Tasya Grajamurpurim Maturim Goshtavartim Radha Kundam Girivaramaho Radhika Madhavasham Prapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Gurum Tam Natosmi Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Ataf Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagraja Tam Sahagana Raghuna Tam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamscha Guru Vaishnav Bhagavan Tine Smarane Hoy Vigna Vinasham Araya Shri Hoy Nijavan Chita Pura Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. This chapter is titled The Killing of Dhenukasura, the Ass Demon. Dhenuka has not yet made his appearance, although he's been discussed. He's not discussed in this particular verse. To give some background to this whole pastime, I'll read from it. I'll read from a translation of Sri Garga Samhita describing the same pastime with some little differences. The background is that Dhenuka became a servant of Kamsa in the same way that so many other demons became servants of Kamsa. He went around the universe conquering all the demons, but he didn't kill them. He brought them into his service. It's something like in a debate, if one Pandit is defeated by the other, then one has to become the disciple of the other. And then when he becomes a disciple, then you just accept him. That's the position. So in the same way, these demons were so many. The Vyomasura, Arishtasura, all the prominent demons who turn up in Krishna's Vrindavan pastime, and Kuvalayapira in Mathura also. All the ones up to the killing of Kamsa were all conquered by him and then brought into his service, into Kamsa's service. So the description given in Garga Samhita is, one day as Krishna was herding the beautiful cows with Balaram and all the gopas, Krishna went to newly blossoming Talavan. Talavan forest, it's said here, but Talavan means forest. Forest of tal, of palm trees, with the kind of palm that has a certain kind of fruit. Should be in season now, yeah? Is it? Should be. In the summer. Oh. Okay. Yes, Oh, right. It's the juice that's in season now. In Bengal. A little later in Bengal it comes. Out of fear of an ass, Dhenuka, the gopas did not enter that forest. Even Krishna did not enter. Only Balaram entered. So in the beginning Balaram entered, tying his blue cloth at his waist. And it's said in the Sanskrit that Balaram, which means very powerful, but they emphasize that again, very powerful, Balaram entered that forest to get its ripe fruit. Balaram, who is Lord Ananta himself, roared fearlessly. He is Ananta, his strength has no limit, and with both arms shook the tal trees and made many fruits fall. When he heard the sound of the falling fruits, the ass demon Dhenuka, who was very powerful, who was a friend of Kamsa, and who had been taking his midday nap, became filled with anger. Coming before the Lord Balaram to fight, with his hind hooves, Dhenuka suddenly kicked Balaram's chest, and it's translated as neighed, but horses neigh and asses bray. Balaram chased Dhenuka, quickly caught his hind legs, and with one hand playfully threw him into a tal tree. When that tree fell, it made many other tal trees nearby also fall. Domino effect. O King of Kings, all this was very surprising. Then that king of demons again stood up and angrily killed Balaram. Then Balaram suddenly grabbed Dhenuka, whirled him around, and as one elephant throws another elephant, threw him for 8 miles. That might sound like a long way, but it's not that much. Kamsa was throwing the demons as he for 1,000 yojanas. Just boys play. 8 miles. When Dhenuka struck the ground, his head became badly wounded and he fell unconscious. In a moment he stood up, and this time his body was filled with anger. Bodies must have been stronger previously, because we hear again and again that someone struck on their head with a club and there's blood coming out, and it's just like they don't bother, it's just they go on fighting. Then Dhenuka manifested a terrifying form with 4 horns. We don't hear about this in the Bhagavatam. An ass with horns. With his sharp and terrifying horns, he made the gopas flee, so they must have come along after Balaram. And then Dhenuka chased them, but some of them stood and fought. Sridama, angry Sridama hit Dhenuka with a stick, and Subal hit him with his fist. Stoka Krishna whipped the powerful demon with a rope. Arjuna, this is the boy in the forest, cowherd boyfriend of Krishna, Arjuna, and Angshu threw him far away. Vishal and Rishabh kicked the demon. Tejasvi tried to strangle him. These are all different cowherd boyfriend names. Devaprastha slapped him. Varutapa hit the great demon with a ball. Then Krishna grabbed Dhenukasura with both hands, whirled him around and threw him onto Govardhan hill. By the force of this, the demon was unconscious for an hour. Shaking off this form, the demon again manifested his original form. With his horns, the demon grabbed Krishna and carried him into the sky. 800,000 miles. Yeah, that's more up to Puranic level. 800,000 miles in the sky they fought. Krishna, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, grabbed Dhenukasura and threw him to the earth. His bones broken, the demon fell unconscious. Again rising, the demon made a very terrible sound with his two horns. Uprooting Govardhan hill, Dhenukasura threw it at Krishna. Catching the hill, Krishna threw it at Dhenukasura's head. The demon caught the hill and threw it back again at Krishna. Krishna caught Govardhan hill and threw it back to its former place. Breaking the ground with his horns, the demon charged Balaram, kicked him with his hind hooves and roared. With that roar, the universe echoed and the earth shook. Then, with both hands, powerful Balaram grabbed the demon and threw him to the ground. His head broken, the demon fell unconscious. Then Krishna's elder brother Balaram punched the demon with his fist, and with that punch, he died. Throwing him from outer space didn't work. So many other things didn't work, but in the end, Balaram just punched him. Then the demigod showered flowers from the Nandanakanan. Leaving his body, Dhenuka manifested a splendid, handsome, dark form, wearing yellow garments and decorated with a forest flower garland. He got Sarupya Mukti. Then a chariot filled with 100,000 of the Lord's associates, decorated with 1,000 flags, rumbling with 1,000 wheels, pulled by 10,000 horses, glorious with 100,000 chamaras, yellow, studded with many jewels, 8 miles long, beautiful, traveling as fast as the mind, and decorated with many bells and tinkling ornaments. This chariot appeared. The demons circumambulated, the ex-demon now must be, circumambulated Krishna and Balaram, and then filling the circle of directions with light, he ascended the chariot and went to Golok, far beyond the material realm. When Dhenuka was killed, Krishna was surrounded by the cows, Balaram and the boys, who were all singing his glories. Then the king asked the sage who was reciting this, why did he attain liberation? Who was Dhenukasura in his previous birth? Why did he get the body of an ass? Please tell me this in truth. Narada said, he was the powerful son of King Bali, who was the son of Virochana, and his name was Sahasik. One time he enjoyed pastimes with 10,000 women on Gandhamadana mountain. The sounds in that forest of the many musical instruments and ankle bells broke the trance of Durvasa Muni, who was in a cave nearby, meditating on Lord Krishna. He was very thin, with a long beard, walking with wooden sandals, holding a stick, and glowing with flames of anger as he came out. This Durvasa, the whole universe trembles at even the thought of his curse. So he left his cave and spoke to Sahasik. You fool, You're just like an ass. Okay, get up and become an ass. O demon, after 400,000 years in the transcendental circle of Mathura, in the sacred forest of Talavan, you will attain liberation by Lord Balaram's hand. Narad said, because Nrsimha had given Prahlad the benediction that your descendants will not be killed by me, Krishna arranged that Dhenukasura was killed by Lord Balaram's hand. Of course, Balaram is also Nrsimha. So he had to, it was one of those things like drinking water to break your fast. It's something like that. You're all happy hearing that pastime? The boys are happy. Why are they happy? Because they like to see Krishna eat sweet tal fruits. And they themselves are eating. But these are pastimes which just provide a setting for the devotees and Krishna to exchange sweetness. Krishna himself is the essence of all sweetness. And by enjoying pastimes, all the devotees and Krishna, they exchange feelings of sweetness. The highest exchange of sweetness is madhura rasa, which literally means sweet rasa. And all the other rasas are, especially in Vrindavan, are permeated with madhura rasa. So everything is sweet about Krishna. What about killing the demons? Krishna's pastimes are sweet, but what about killing the demons? There's Vallabhacharya, he sings his Madhurashtakam, in which he says everything about Krishna is sweet, and even his Dalitam Madhuram, even his smashing the demons, that's also sweet. Even Vamitam Madhura, even his vomit is sweet. So everything's sweet about Krishna. His pastimes are very sweet. Giving some more background, Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given analogies or compared the demons killed in Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan. He's equated the various demons with various tendencies, demoniac tendencies within the heart that devotees have to overcome if they're going to join Krishna's pastimes on Krishna's side and not on the demon side. Otherwise, it could be a handbook for demons. You could take Chaitanya Shikshamrita and you could cultivate these qualities. But the qualities that Bhaktivinoda Thakur sees, or we say quality, the faults that Bhaktivinoda Thakur sees in Dhenukasura, not really possible to cultivate, because the first one he lists is sthula buddhi, which means dull intelligence. It's not something you can really cultivate. I guess you could cultivate it by taking lots of drugs, especially depressants or something like that. But there's no yogic process for cultivating dull intelligence. Or sthula could also mean very gross. That you can only see in immediate terms. And no subtlety. The opposite of sthula is sukshma. No subtle understanding of the complexities and intricacies of life. And that we see increasingly in Kali Yuga. People are dull-headed. Sthula buddhi, you could say. dull-headed. Dull-headedness, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives the next quality is sajñāna abhava, or lack of proper knowledge or knowledge of the truth, which is again part of sthula buddhi. An ass has no spiritual understanding. So humans who are like asses, they're like that also. Shvivid varahostra karai sangstuta purusha pashuhu nayat karna pato petas jatu nama gadagraja. Men who are like hogs, dogs, camels, and asses praise other persons who are like hogs, dogs, camels, and asses, but who are bigger hogs, dogs, camels, and asses. And such persons, they can't even hear the name of Krishna. So another angle, actually it's all the descriptions that Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives, they're all different angles on the same thing, sthula buddhi. So the next one he says is murhata janita tattva andhata. Blindness to the facts of reality, the spiritual reality. Why is that? It's just born out of foolishness, murhata. Then he says, swarup jnana virodha, being opposed to knowledge of one's actual position. Srila Prabhupada, this murhata, foolishness, gross, crass foolishness. Srila Prabhupada in his purport to Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, text 15, elaborates on this. That verse is Namang dushkushino murha prapadyante naradhamaha Mayaya pahrita jnana asurang bhavamashritaha. Four kinds of people do not surrender to Krishna. The foolish, the lowest among mankind, among the Srinamurha, prapadyante, those whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and those who are just out and out demons. So the description of the mudha in his purport to this verse, Srila Prabhupada says, the mudhas are those who are grossly foolish. Actually, many of these, it may be taken as four types. There are four general types, and it can overlap also. The mudhas are those who are grossly foolish, like hard-working beasts of burden. They want to enjoy the fruits of their labor by themselves, and so do not want to part with them for the Supreme. The typical example of the beast of burden is the ass. Dhenukasura is in the form of an ass. This humble beast, here by saying humble, it doesn't mean humble in attitude, it means very lowly. Not at all, not humble in attitude. He's puffed up over less than nothing. So this humble beast is made to work very hard by his master. The ass does not really know for whom he works so hard day and night. That's true in the present age. where people become very happy to get a job in a multinational corporation. But they don't know who they're working for. They may not even know the name of the owners of the company, all the shareholders, they won't know all their names. And even if they know the name of the CEO or the chairman of the board, they won't know him personally. So if you want, you can go and say, I'm working for a multinational corporation. What are you doing? I'm supervising the work environment in a particular sector of the company. Means he's cleaning the toilet. He's working for a multi, not cleaning any other toilet. He's cleaning the multinational toilet. He, the ass, remains satisfied by filling his stomach with a bundle of grass, sleeping for a while under fear of being beaten by his master, and satisfying his sex appetite at the risk of being repeatedly kicked by the opposite party. The ass sings poetry and philosophy sometimes. Have you heard the ass? We don't see asses much in India now, so their job's been taken over by tempos. Otherwise, they used to carry big rocks and huge bundles of washing. You could just see some little skinny legs coming out from underneath. Huge bundle. And then the ass, they make philosophy. I'm not very good at imitating. Maybe someone else could do it better. There's one nyai in the Lokik nyais. You know what that's called? Where it's something like Karagarjan nyai. I'll just give a name to it. The braying of a... He starts off very loud. And you just find out no one's listening. He's got a lot to say, but then he just gets quiet and peters out. The ass sings poetry and philosophy sometimes, but this braying sound only disturbs others. This is the position of the foolish fruitive worker, who does not know for whom he should work. He does not know that karma, action, is meant for yajna, sacrifice. Most often, those who work very hard day and night to clear the burden of self-created duties say that they have no time to hear of the immortality of the living being. To such mudhas, material gains which are destructible are life's all in all, despite the fact that the mudhas enjoy only a small fraction of the fruit of labor. Sometimes they spend sleepless days and nights for fruitive gain, and although they may have ulcers or indigestion, they are satisfied with practically no food. They are simply absorbed in working hard day and night for the benefit of illusory masters. Ignorant of their real master, the foolish workers waste their valuable time serving mammon. Unfortunately, they never surrender to the supreme master of all masters, nor do they take time to hear of him from the proper sources. The swine who eat the night soil, that means stool. What's another word for that? I know many vulgar words. They're probably in every language there are vulgar words for stool. Must be, right? Yeah. You don't know them, you're a Brahmin, you don't speak that way. Stool's a medical term, actually. What do you call it in ordinary English? Poop. That's It's actually a childish word, but the swine who eat the night soil do not care to accept sweetmeats made of sugar and ghee. Similarly, the foolish worker will untiringly continue to hear of the sense-enjoyable tidings of the flickering mundane world, but will have very little time to hear about the eternal living force that moves the material world. Any questions? These pastimes, killing the demons, if we see through the lens of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and see that we have to kill the demoniac propensities in our own hearts. Yeah. Or Krishna, we can call Krishna, and then the ones killed by Balaram, we have to do more work ourselves also. No question. Okay, we'll finish there. All glories to His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.